Hi there, and welcome to Ian's Engage channel. I'm Ian. In my previous video, I reviewed what I'd got up to in 2024. So in this video, I thought I'd share what I've got planned for the channel in the next 12 months. But first, let's have a look at last year's plan. Last year, I set myself 4 milestones. Number 1, complete the track work for the tricky bit. Number 2, complete the track work for the outer loop. Number 3, complete the track work for the inner loop. And number 4, complete the track work at Mantle Thorb station area. Each milestone would require track work to be permanently fixed down to be connected to the DCC bus. Servo motors would also need to be connected to the points, and those would be configured to be controlled via DCC commands. As explained at the time, I thought I was being a bit ambitious with this plan, and I turned out to be right. So let's take a look at what needs to happen to move the build forward. Unfortunately, the tricky bit was basically the only area that was progressed during 2024, and it's still not complete. However, working on this area of the layout has taught me a lot. I've learned how to lay track accurately and how to add dropper wires so that the wires are hidden from view. I've learned how to install and configure micro servo motors to control the points. I've also learned how to wire for block detection, so I'll be able to add automation to the layout further down the line. I've still got work to do on the tricky bit, but it's a lot closer to completion than it was at the beginning of 2024. Before I can start working on either of the loops, I need to figure out how I'm going to construct the inclines. I'll almost definitely be using the Woodland Scenics riser system. The risers will need to accommodate double track, so I need to figure out whether I can use just one or whether I'll need 2 placed next to each other. I can't just lay track on top of the risers, so I need to work out what sort of track bed to use. My gut feeling is that I should use cork strips, but would they be rigid enough to overhang the riser if using only one? Or should I use Greyboard? Or plaster bandage? Or papier-mâché? Or something else? I'm sure that a fair amount of experimentation will be required to figure this out. Once I've figured out how to construct the inclines, I can begin work on the loops, starting with the outer loop. Once I start work on the inclines, I'll no longer have room for a test track, so getting the outer loop up and running will give me the ability to play trains again, and test locos of course, which will be excellent. Because of this, I'll tackle the outer loop in stages, and for the first stage we'll be happy to have the track temporarily laid and pinned down with manual point control. I'll call this a temporary install of the outer loop. Once the outer loop is temporarily in place, I can then begin work on the inner loop. Again, this will be tackled in stages, with the track being initially pinned down temporarily and points controlled manually, if installed at all. A major milestone will be achieved once inner and outer loops have been set up, as it will give me bi-directional running for the first time since the end of 2022. Mantle Thorb station area will be the next piece of track work to be tackled. This will probably be the first area of the layout that receives any sort of scenic detail too, as I can begin to look at constructing platforms, station buildings and ways of disguising the scenic breakboard. But that's definitely getting ahead of myself. OK, so let's see what we've got and take a look at the plan for 2025. Number 1, and no shock here, is to complete the tricky bit. Number 2, determine how to and then construct curved inclines that can support double track. Number 3, temporarily install track for an outer loop. Number 4, temporarily install track for an inner loop. And number 5, complete the track work at Mantle Thorb station area. To be complete, each piece of track work will require connection to power, working points and provision for block detection. Of course, temporarily installed track won't have any of this. Other than making videos about building Shelfington, I still plan on producing videos about other subjects. I'll continue to perform loco and rolling stock reviews and already have a few in the pipeline. I'll also continue to blunder my way through the DCC fitting of locos, partly to give an idea of how easy or difficult the process is for a particular loco, but mostly because I'm a glutton for punishment. Hopefully, I'll also be able to keep up a steady stream of new arrivals to post about. I'm pretty sure that there'll also be a few experiments taking place, especially when it comes to implementing inclines, configuring block detection, and controlling points via DCC commands. I'd also like to attend more model rail shows this year, and will post about my visits. I'm sure that there'll be other things to post about as well, and I look forward to discovering what they are as the year progresses. OK, so there you have it, the plan for 2025. Yeah, I know it's effectively the same plan as last year, but I have a good feeling about this year, and I'm positive I'll be able to move past the tricky bit soon. Well, before the year is over. Probably. Anyway, as usual, let me know what you think. Any pointers on what materials to use as the trackbed on top of the woodland scenic rises would be useful. Alternatively, if you've got any hints, tips, useful tools or techniques to pass on to a fellow N-Gauge modeller, or if you simply want to say hello, then please do so in the comment section. Anything and everything you've got to say will be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, thanks ever so much for watching. Hopefully I'll have an update on my progress soon. Bye.